Welcome to Hobbs Lady Eagle Basketball and Carlsbad Cavegirl Basketball here on Eagle 100.5 and 96.3 Q 96.3 in Carlsbad. Hobbs Lady Eagle Basketball brought to you tonight by Lee County State Bank, Lasco Construction, Divine Energy, Hobbs Express, Thriftway and La Tienda, Master Plumbers, Eunice Pump and Supply, Bel Air Bowl, TDS Telecom, the First American Bank of Hobbs, Forest Tire Company, Badger, and NMR. I'm TJ Miracle. Great to have you with us tonight from Tasker Arena. The regular season wrapping up tonight, and two teams still with an awful lot to play for. Of course, the home team, the Hobbs Lady Eagles, number one in the state, looking for their 25th consecutive victory, 24-1 on the year, 5-0 overall in district. They claimed their 9th consecutive district championship on last week when they defeated Clovis to go to 5-0, and right now number one in Class 5A, and they'd like to keep it right there going into the district tournaments. On the other side of things, for the visiting Carlsbad Cavegirls, 17-8 on the season. They are 2-3 overall in district right now. In the Max Preps poll, they are number 12 in 5A, which would get them into the playoffs, but it would be on the road. There is a whole lot of teams that are kind of jammed up there from 12 all the way down to around 19, all with a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. So Carlsbad looking to come in and do what they can do against the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Now, this Cavegirls team is the first one that really pushed the Lady Eagles since very, very early in the season at Carlsbad a couple of weeks ago. Hobbs pulling out late, winning that game 44-34, but Carlsbad basically led the entire game. Going into the fourth quarter, Carlsbad up 28-22 in that game. Now, a couple of weeks ago in that game, two Cavegirls in double figures, Abby Dugan and Rebecca Brown with 10 apiece. Jasmine Gonzalez had 8 in that game, and Hayden Brose with 6. But those were the only 4 scores for the Cavegirls. They turned the ball over 29 times when they played Hobbs back at the Cave. Now, in that game a couple of weeks ago for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, much more balanced scoring, but it came down to Brett Clay taking over at the end, 10 points of her 17 coming in that fourth quarter. She was the only Lady Eagle in double figures. 8 points for Kendall Cunningham. Then you had 6 points in the book for Aliana Armitage, 5 points Caitlin Muniz, 3 points Bryn Hargrove, 3 points Nakaya Mojica, and then 2 points for Madison Zapata. A 22-6 run in the fourth quarter is what sealed the deal for the Hobbs Lady Eagles in that contest. Now, last 3 for these two squads. Of course, we go back to that district game for the visiting Cavegirls, losing to Hobbs 44-34, then dropping one to Clovis 50-34 before defeating Roswell 58-34 to get into this matchup. Hobbs' last 3, of course, beating Carlsbad, then beating Roswell 66-32, then knocking off Clovis 69-41. Hobbs looks to remain perfect in district. They've already wrapped up the number 1 seed in the district tournament, so that game, regardless of who they play, will be here at Tasker Arena. Of course, some of the timing is going to depend on the boys' game tonight between Carlsbad and Hobbs, and whether there's a playoff game on Monday to determine the district championship with Hobbs and Roswell High, and then if there is a championship game here where Hobbs to finish out and get the boys' championship too. The game would be Saturday at 5:30. And if it's just a girls' game, probably looking at Saturday at 7, but I'll see if I can confirm that with Athletic Director Jeremy Soria. We'll take a quick timeout, come back, and continue. It's the Lady Eagles and the Cavegirls from world-famous Tasker Arena in Hobbs. The Lady Eagles and the Cavegirls are playing on Eagle 100.5, 96.3 The Q Rocks, Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. 2-minute break. Welcome back to Lady Eagle and Cave Girl Basketball on Eagle 100.5 and KAMQ 96.3 over in Eddy County. I'm TJ Miracle, Jonathan Allen running camera tonight. Video available free of charge, Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel and on HobbsAmerica.com. Thanks for being with us tonight as the teams continue their warm-up. Senior night, pushing the start time of this one back just a little bit. JV game, the Hobbs Lady Eagles victorious 43-13 in the contest right before this one. So we get ready for the start of this varsity matchup. Let's go ahead and run down these starters for you. For Matt Inlow's Carlsbad Cavegirls, out on the floor to start will be number 1, Cameron Zumbrin, number 12, Abby Dugan, number 21, Macy Garcia, number 50, Jasmine Gonzalez, and number 52, Rebecca Brown. For the Hobbs Lady Eagles, under head coach Joey Carpenter, already having claimed their 9th consecutive district championship, starters are what we have expected to see. Number 4, Madison Zapata, number 14, Brett Clay, number 15, Nakaya Mojica, number 20, Bryn Hargrove, and number 22, Kendall Cunningham. So that'll be the starters on the floor for both teams tonight. Of course, district tournament next week. Carlsbad trying to get the best placement that they can get. Hopefully would get a home game there at the Cave. Of course, the Lady Eagles just going to sit back and watch Roswell High and Carlsbad and Clovis go at it in the district tournament, and then welcome the survivor of that into Tasker Arena next Saturday night. Of course, whoever they play, we'll have that game for you, Eagle 100.5, and depending on the time, also the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel or Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel. Just keep an eye on the Kicks KZOR and Eagle 100.5 Facebook pages. We will let you know when and where to watch your teams play. Of course, talking about the playoffs, the Hobbs Lady Eagles trying to nail down that number 1 seed, and a win tonight would go a long way towards helping that, as Hobbs and Sandia both sitting there at the top, but Hobbs right now with the edge at number 1. As I mentioned, going into the playoffs, something you've definitely got to start thinking about, and there is a whole bunch of teams kind of stacked up record-wise, strength of schedule-wise, everything else-wise, right down around that 12-19. So, Hobbs is looking to play, maybe Carlsbad, Cleveland, Roswell, Centennial, Piedra Vista, West Mesa, El Dorado. That's El Dorado, sorry, in New Mexico. We're owned by a company in El Dorado, Arkansas, but El Dorado and Santa Fe. That's 12 through 19, and it's just a log jam right there. And at least 3 of those teams, well, not at least, 3 of those teams will be left out on Selection Sunday here in just a couple of weeks. Of course, Carlsbad trying to solidify their place in the playoffs, and I would think they would not want to come back here to Tasker Arena. A number 12 seed would probably not have that happen, but if they lose tonight and then have some things happen in the district tournament, it could drop them down. They're looking at Hobbs, Sandia, Mayfield, Farmington, Clovis, Albuquerque High, and La Cueva. Right now, if it were to go in as everything is lined up, it would be the Clovis team taking on this Carlsbad team as they get ready to start the sizzle videos and sizzle reels tonight. Of course, a lot to talk about as we move through this one. They'll be doing the national anthem and introducing the players out onto the court. I'd like to say a big thanks to Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing tonight back at One Radio Square, and also the crew back at Carlsbad Radio. The Hobbs Eagles and the Carlsbad Cavemen also in action tonight. They're at the Cave in Carlsbad. Audio available, the Hobbs side of things on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, Hobbs Sports YouTube, HobbsAmerica.com, and I believe the Carlsbad crew has video of that on the Carlsbad Radio Facebook page. So best of luck to all of our teams tonight as, the sizzle reel continues, getting ready for the teams to come out onto the court. We'll just keep it right here until I've got a better idea about how much time they're going to be taking for introduction and for the national anthem. But, hey, a big thanks to all of our sponsors tonight. If you are watching the broadcast, Lee County News and Sports YouTube, HobbsAmerica.com. You see them there on the bottom of your screen. Carlsbad Radio and KMQ, also with a lot of great Cavemen and Cave Girls supporters. And you're hearing their ads, and you see them on your screen when Carlsbad Radio is providing the video too, and they appreciate those folks. They make it possible for us to do these games and to never have to charge you to watch and listen to your team's play. So the Hobbs Lady Eagles are out on the court. They will be wearing the home white unis with the black letters and numbers and the gold trim. Carlsbad in the road blues with the silver letters and numbers. So the team's out on the court. As we prepare for the national anthem and the introduction of teams, we will go ahead and take a 3-minute timeout. Come back and continue. It's the Lady Eagles and the Cave Girls from No Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. And welcome back to Hobbs Lady Eagle and Carlsbad Cave Girl basketball from Tasker Arena tonight on Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel, HobbsAmerica.com. Also on Eagle 100.5, the Eagle 100.5 Hobbs app, and on KAMQ 1240 and 96.3. 96.3 the Q in Carlsbad tonight. So the Lady Eagles looking to stay perfect in district and looking to go to 25 wins on the season, keep the hopes of a 30-win season alive, as it really won't matter to Coach Carpenter, though. I think he would tell you that as long as they get the Big Blue Trophy at the end, then that would be all worth it. So keys for the games tonight for both of these teams as the teams being introduced out onto the floor. If you're the Hobbs Lady Eagles, come out and drop the hammer early. You've got defense, you know it. Your defense triggers your offense, and this Lady Eagles squad can absolutely explode for points if they can get their outside shooting going early and get the transition game going, get the open buckets off of steals. It could be a very long night for these Carlsbad Cave Girls. For the Cave Girls, all of it kind of just dovetails in with what I just said. For the Cave Girls tonight, it's take care of the basketball. 29 turnovers when they played Hobbs in the Cave a couple of weeks ago. They have to take better care of the basketball. They have to continue to bring the defensive intensity and get the rebounds when they get the opportunity. Hobbs a lot of times does not like having big presence in the paint, and Gonzalez and Brown both able to provide a formidable presence in the paint, both offensively and defensively. To not let Hobbs get out early. Carlsbad with a 17-8 record. By no means a pushover, but they do not have anywhere close to the offensive firepower that this Hobbs Lady Eagles team does. If Hobbs can stretch us out to 10, it could be good night, Irene. Again, a big thanks to all of our great sponsors here on Eagle 100.5 who make Lady Eagle basketball possible, and also your Cavemen and Cave Girl boosters on KAMQ 96.3 back there in Carlsbad. They make it possible for us to bring you these games. And in the video component, of course, on the radio, never have to charge you, never have to beg you for donations to watch your kids and your teams play. Again, for the Carlsbad Cave Girls starters tonight are number 1, Cameron Zumbrin, number 12, Abby Dugan, number 21, Macy Garcia, number 50, Jasmine Gonzalez, and number 52, Rebecca Brown. Look for Hayden Brose to get significant time off the bench as well for Coach Enlow. For your Hobbs Lady Eagles, number 4, Madison Zepeda, Air Force Academy signee Brett Clay, then Nakaya Mojica, who will be continuing her college career at New Mexico Highlands. Also a Highland prospect, Bryn Hargrove. So Mojica and Hargrove both be playing together again next year. Also starting tonight, Kendall Cunningham. She will be playing basketball at the next level, is undecided as of yet. And, of course, look for big contributions from Aliana Armitage and Carolina Size coming in off of the bench. And so at center court, it'll be Cunningham to take the jump against Zumbrin. And we are ready to go as we wrap up the district season tonight here at Tasker Arena. And Carlsbad does not even contest the jump. It'll go to Madison Zepeda, and she'll take it across the timeline. In front, then give it back to Zepeda. Long cross-court pass and out of the reach of Mojica, and Hobbs a quick turnover. Now it'll be up to Carlsbad to see if they can capitalize on it. 10 seconds in, Hobbs with an early uncharacteristic turnover. They will have the full court press on as it'll come into Gonzalez. Coming up behind her will be Hargrove. Gonzalez will just bowl her way forward into the front court, losing the basket. Again to her quickly, and on her is Dugan. They'll reset with Zepeda between the rings. To Mojica, right wing, back to Zepeda. Hobbs is passing a little bit off here early. Flip it into Clay, and then out Mojica, right slot for 3. That one is off the mark, but Madison will get the rebound, and she'll take it through the reverse layup and up and good. And Hobbs draws first blood and takes the early 2-0 lead. Good ball movement for the Lady Eagles. How will the Cave Girls respond as Dugan will take it into the front court under intense pressure from Hargrove. Hargrove battling now over to Gonzalez on the far sideline. Clay comes out to pick her up quickly. Gonzalez picks up her dribble, needs some help. Brett all over, and they're going to call Brett for the foul as the arms wailing. So that'll be Brett's first personal, first team foul on the Lady Eagles as the Boo Birds come out for the blue, or rather the black and gold. No, Gonzalez to inbound it from just left of the scorer's table, gets it into Dugan. Working in the right corner. Dugan flips it to Brose, who just checked into the ball game, so said she'd come off the bench. She did. Then to Brown, top of the arc. 3 ball on the way, no good. And it'll be Hargrove off the tip with the rebound, her first. Bryn will take it in front of Taskovich, give it off to Clay. Clay goes right baseline. Is going to be run out. Now they'll move it to Zepeda. To Mojica, left corner. 3 on the way, and bang! Nakaya Mojica, wide open look. Carlsbad is going to have to work on guarding those outside shooters in this gym. Hobbs can light it up in a hurry. A 5-0 run for Hobbs. Of course, it was a 5-0 run to start the game in Carlsbad a couple of weeks ago, too. And then Carlsbad had a 7-2 run to Brown inside, and it'll be knocked away and saved. Second turnover for Carlsbad. Hargrove off of the save from Mojica. Leaves it off for Zepeda. Now to Mojica. Now working around to Hargrove. Thinks about it. Brose gets to her quickly. He'll reset out around the 10-foot line between the rings. Sling it over to Hargrove. Thinks about the WNBA distance 3. Thinks better of it. Bounce it back to Brenda Mojica. Carlsbad doing a much better job cutting off that left side from the Hobbs shooters. Back to Clay, over to Hargrove. Hargrove to Clay, 5.5 to go here in the first. Hobbs up 5-0. To Hargrove, to Mojica, back to Hargrove. Now they're picking the passing up to Zepeda. Into the free throw line with Clay. Clay to Hargrove. Open look. Left wing for three. That one clinks off the iron. No good. And it'll be Dugan with the rebound left side. And she will airmail it over, trying to break the Hobbs press. Ball gets poked and will roll out of bounds. But last touch by Hobbs is Zepeda and Cunningham. We're over there. Brose trying to get to it. Hobbs touching it last. So it'll be Carlsbad basketball from the right baseline. Brose will head over to send it in. Hobbs with a 5-0 lead. On the inbound to Zumbrin, then they'll get it out to Gonzalez. Her three ball is up, no good, and it'll be Clay with the rebound. Brett tips it herself. She'll take it into the right lane. A little stop and go over Gonzalez. Shot up, no good. Cunningham there with the rebound and the putback, and a 7-0 run to start the ball game for the Lady Eagles. After the inbound, Hobbs will drop back. Now they'll pick up the pressure. As Brose crosses the timeline, and Mojica will pick her pocket. Third turnover. Nakaya goes in the left lane, puts it up and rolls it around. Won't go, but she's fouled. A little bit of a frustration foul there for Brose. That'll be her first personal, first team foul on Carlsbad, and a timeout going to be taken by, Coach Enlow will take the timeout. Just a 30, so we will keep it right here. Of course, say a big thank you to all of our great sponsors, both for the Lady Eagles on Eagle 100.5, including Lee County State Bank, Lasco Construction, Divine Energy, Hobbs Express, Thriftway and La Tienda Master Plumbers, and Eunice Pump and Supply. And also for the Cavemen and Cave Girl supporters on KAMQ, 4 Elements, AGH, AR Foreman, B&B Equipment, Carlsbad Chevy, Carlsbad Ford, Carlsbad Medical Center, Carter's Air Conditioning, and CNB Bank, just to name a few. Wherever you are tonight, around southeast New Mexico, West Texas, and the world, we appreciate you being with us. So out of the timeout and out of the foul, Nakaya Mojica goes to the line to shoot two. A 7-0 Hobbs lead. Mojica about 68% from the line and drains the first. She's got 4 points for the Lady Eagles. The Eagles over the course of the season have definitely improved their free throw shooting as a team, shooting over 70% now. At one point it was just over 50. So something they've been working on as Mojica drains them both and makes it a 9-0 Hobbs lead as Caitlin Muniz will come in for Mojica. Muniz has since seen significant time off the bench. As Gonzalez looks to inbound it, she'll get it to Dugan, almost lose it. Aliana Armitage also in the ballgame. Armitage works against Dugan as Dugan will get it into the front court. Armitage is all over, and she'll drive in, try and split 3 Lady Eagles, and they'll call the push foul on Hobbs. I think they're going to get Cunningham for that one. And, they're going to call the push foul. No, they're going to call that on Armitage, so that'll be Aliana's first personal. Second team foul on Hobbs. Stays Carlsbad basketball. Zumbrin from the right of her own bucket. Puts it in right at the 5 count, and Armitage will just take it away from her. Fourth turnover for the Cavegirls. Feed it forward to a breaking Muniz. Puts up the high shot, no good. Cunningham is there with the rebound, the putback. Gets another rebound and weaves through traffic and gets it through. Kendall with 4 points and 3 boards and an 11-0 run for the Lady Eagles to start the ball game. 4.5 minutes to go here in the first, and they have not started the clock yet. Guys, pay attention. Clock is still not ticking. Still not ticking. Somebody point that out, please, as Dugan with it. Now they'll restart it. Dugan picks up the dribble, needs some help. Armitage tries to strip it away from her. She'll get it over. Now trying to get it in to Brown and taken away by the Lady Eagles. Clay into the front court, tossing it over to Carolina Size, who just checked in, and she's going to pull the foul as Zumbrin got the arm in there and ticked Carolina. Of course, Carolina, another one of the seniors on this squad, hopes to continue her basketball career. It's not signed yet. My guess is that making some decisions. Carolina's first one is up, and that one falls off, no good. Of course, Carolina's dad, Coach Frankie Size, one of the assistants for Coach Joey Carpenter. So Alana Bolton will come in as Kendall Cunningham will take a seat. Size misses the first and dinks the second one. It'll be Dugan with her second rebound of the ball game. Hobbs will drop back in D. Armitage on Dugan, very tight. Dugan will take it across the big H. Then they'll get it to Zumbrin. Left corner for three. Shot up, no good, and just let it go. And that's what Hobbs will do, is Coach Carpenter giving the baseball safe signal and telling his girls to stay away from it. Size, Armitage, Clay, Muniz, and Bolton on the floor for the Lady Eagles. Brose, Zumbrin, Dugan. And as soon as I say that, Serenity Madrano will check in for Zumbrin. And you got Gonzalez and Brown on the floor as well. 3:55 to go here in the first. Hobbs up 11-0. To Muniz, picks up the dribble, bounces it over to Size. Size back out to Muniz with Dugan on her very tight. Caseland takes it out to the logo and then will bounce it over in front of the stands. Gets it back, working around to Size. Bounce it to Bolton in the right block. Now out to Muniz, now over to Armitage. Armitage drives in on the left baseline, puts up the reverse layup and hook it up and in. Armitage, you can lose her on the baseline pretty easy. Carlsbad didn't do a good job of that time as Dugan goes hard to the floor as they'll try and toss it over to Brown. It gets tipped away by Bolton and out. It'll stay Carlsbad basketball, a 13-0 run. To start the quarter, the Hobbs Lady Eagles going to try and keep their foot on the gas. Carlsbad has got to find some O and find it quickly. Dugan will get it in and then get it right back in the left corner for three. That shot is up, no good, and Armitage with the rebound off the bounce to a breaking Brett Clay on the fast break. Brett lays it up and in. First points of the ball game for the Lady Eagles, soon to be Lady Falcon commit, Air Force Academy. To the front court with Gonzalez. Clay stays on her very tight. 15-0, Hobbs in the lead. Get it over to Brose. Her little push shot up, no good. And the ball will go out of bounds as trying to control it was Madrano. And they're going to say last touched by Hobbs. So Clay will check out. Back in is Kendall Cunningham. And Brown will inbound it from left of the bucket. Looks to toss it in, she will, and Cunningham tries to take it away and will on the inbound. Kendall to a breaking Muniz, and Caseland up and in. Another steal, another breakaway, and it's a 17-0 lead for Hobbs, and a timeout taken by Coach Matt Enlow. 2:37 to go here in the first quarter. Hobbs 17, Carlsbad 0. We're back in 1 minute on Eagle 100.5 and KAMQ. And Gonzalez will throw the fastball in, gets it to Dugan, and then Size will foul her as Dugan was heading towards the lane. Carolina was right with her. Number 24 will pick up the foul, her first personal, third team foul on the Lady Eagles, and that will put Abby Dugan at the line to shoot two for Carlsbad. So the first real good chance for Carlsbad comes from the stripe, and finally they will get in the books with 2:36 remaining here in the first quarter. So Dugan finally breaks the ice for Carlsbad. Her second is up, uses the one-shot technique or the one-hand technique, and it is good. So Armitage will bring it back down. 15-point Hobbs lead to Size. Brose will pick her up quickly. Carolina throws it and throws it out of the reach of Muniz and right into the hands of Gonzalez. Second turnover for Hobbs. 2:20 to go here in the first. Gonzalez to Brose in front of Taskovich. Then they'll work it over to the far side. To Medrano, top of the arc, trying to get it into Brown. She loses it in the paint. Ball loose on the court. Muniz will come away with it and then feed it forward. Transition game coming for Armitage. Armitage weaves around Medrano. Puts up the little sidewinder hook, and it is good. Armitage with 4 points in the ball game, and Hobbs back up by 17 as we click under 2 to go here in the first. 19-2, Lady Eagles in the lead. To the free throw line with Dugan. Dugan around Armitage. She'll move in and put up the little 12-foot push, and that is good. Now 19-4. Carlsbad finding a little low finally to Muniz from the slot. Right side thinks about the three now to a wide open size left corner, and that one's going to be short, and the rebound right into the hands of Dugan off the front of the iron. 90 seconds remaining here in a fast-moving first. Gonzalez to a wide open Brown in the left block and up and in. Rebecca Brown puts it up and in. 19-6, 13-point Hobbs Lady Eagle lead. Seisel bounce it to Armitage with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go here in the first. 13-point Hobbs lead. 17-0 Hobbs run to start the game to Cunningham in the right block. Toss it over to Muniz, deep left corner, and Brose will poke it away as Muniz got it away from her body a little bit and then got poked away and out. And they're going to say Carlsbad basketball, so that'll be the third turnover for the Lady Eagles. Oh, nope, they switch it, and so it will be Hobbs basketball. So Mojica just checked back in along with Hargrove. Mojica into a wide open Cunningham who backed in and puts it up and in. Kendall Cunningham with 6 points in the ball game. 15-point Lady Eagle lead, under a minute to play. 21-6 our score. Hobbs over the Cavegirls. To the front court with Gonzalez. She works against Hargrove. Gets a little pick. And we'll send it over to Brose. Brose to Klusner, who just checked into the ball game. Klusner to Dugan. She wanted to throw it to somebody on the baseline, but nobody home. So she wisely just holds it. Brett Clay on her, not giving her a lot of breathing room. Gets a pick from Gonzalez. Hargrove will go around that and pick her up to Klusner. Now she'll throw the fastball, trying to get Gonzalez on the baseline, near side, knocked away by Clay. And out of bounds, it'll stay Carlsbad basketball. So it'll be Dugan to inbound it from the left, or make that the left elbow, right in front of the Hobbs student section, right where the baseline meets the sideline. Dugan looks to get it in, does right at the 5 count to Klusner, to Gonzalez. And they'll toss it around. Dugan has to retreat to get it. They'll work it around as they were trying to move it into Garcia in the corner, but getting a hand on it and knocking it out was Mojica. Stays Carlsbad basketball. 14 seconds remaining here in the first as Madison Zapata comes in for Aliana Armitage. So you got the starters on the floor for your Lady Eagles. The inbound comes to Garcia. Mojica on her tight, and Nakaya takes it away from her but steps on the sideline. So no turnover for either team, and it'll stay Carlsbad basketball. 11.9 seconds to go. Hobbs has picked up the defensive pressure as the inbound will be tipped away by Hargrove, and she will take it herself, and she'll drive it up and off of the right glass and good. Bryn Hargrove with her first bucket of the ball game. Makes it a 23-6 Hobbs lead at the buzzer. We have played one. Hobbs 23, Carlsbad 6. We'll be back for the second quarter in 1 minute. The Lady Eagles and the Cavegirls continue in a moment. Back here at Tasker Arena, start of the second quarter. Lady Eagles leading the Cavegirls 23-6. I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing in Hobbs. The crew back at Q96.3 in Carlsbad. Jonathan Allen running camera tonight. Lee County News and Sports YouTube. Carlsbad basketball as Dugan works against Clay as we get underway here in the second. Handing it off to Zumbrin. Clay will just stay right on her. Not much room to run as she'll have to toss it over to Garcia. Garcia throws the fastball to Gonzalez at the right block. And now she'll throw it back out, and they'll have to reset with Zumbrin on the near side. That's the left side as I'm looking at it. To Garcia, throw the fastball in, trying to get it to Gonzalez. Knocked away, ninth turnover for the Cavegirls. Mojica to Hargrove. Left corner, three ball up, and it is in and out. And it'll be Brown battling with Cunningham for the rebound. Brown touching it last. It'll stay Hobbs basketball. Just 3 rebounds and 8 turnovers in the first quarter for Carlsbad. Just 2 turnovers and 7 boards for Hobbs. Hobbs with good second and third chances in addition to the steals. That's why they're up 23-6. Hargrove to Zepeda. Back to Hargrove. Getting out to her quickly. Now they'll get it right base. Now give it up to Clay, and just the little 10-foot floater from the left block is up and in for Brett. She's got 4. And Hobbs is now up by 19, 25-6, biggest lead of the ball game. As Gonzalez working against Hargrove finally gets it around the timeline. Bryn goes down, no call. Hargrove gets up, then another bad pass and right into the hands of Mojica. Nakaya to the front court where she works on Zumbrin. Throw it over into the right baseline. Kendall one dribble, puts it up off the glass and good. Cunningham with 8 in the ball game. And the Lady Eagles now up by 21. 6.5 remaining first half. Hobbs trying to put their foot on the gas here on senior night. As a foul going to be called as Brose was driving in. They're going to get Zepeda for her first personal. First team foul in the quarter. The first team foul on Hobbs in the quarter. It is on the floor. You got Gonzalez, Brown, Dugan, Zumbrin, and Brose on the floor as Brose will get the inbound, toss it out to Zumbrin. Then bounce it to the free throw line with Gonzalez. Now back out. And Brose for 3. Bang, as that one's good. That was Zumbrin, pardon me, number 3. Number 1 for 3. There we go. I'll get my tongue and my brain synced up at some point. 27-9. Now to Clay, a rare three-pointer, and bang! Brett Clay with 7. So Brett Clay drains the 3 and gets it right back, and then another steal as a wide open look as Bryn Hargrove takes it away from Jasmine Gonzalez, and then unimpeded to the net, 32-9. Hobbs on a run is to the front court. That'll be Brose. Brose bouncing it over to Dugan, going to the right baseline. She'll take it to the right block, put up a shot, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it'll be saved out and into the hands of Clay as Dugan saved it, but right to Brad, who takes it coast to coast and up and in for the Lady Eagles senior. So 34-9. Hobbs trying to stretch this one out. 9 points in the books now for Brett. 5:19 to go here in the first half. To the front court with Brose to Zumbrin. Zumbrin throws the fastball into Gonzalez, and she's going to get fouled driving to the rack. They're going to get Bryn Hargrove for that one. That'll be the first personal on Bryn. Second team foul on the Lady Eagles. And so that will put Carlsbad at the line. That'll be Jasmine Gonzalez, her first trip to the stripe tonight. Carlsbad's first points of the ball game came from the line. So Gonzalez going to head to the charity stripe, and it is good. That'll make this a 34-10 contest. Carlsbad extremely good from the line. They don't post their stats online, but in playing Hobbs and saw them a couple of times against Lovington this year, they're probably shooting around 80% or so as a team. And as soon as I say that, they miss one. And Cunningham will have her 4th board. Kendall keeps it herself. A little stop and go. Toss it to Zepeda to Clay. Wide open, top of the arc. Bang! 3 ball is in. Traby in. And 37-10. Hobbs up by 27. Then on the inbound, as leaping up to try and get it was Dugan. She was going against Mojica. Dugan touched it last. That'll be 12 turnovers for Carlsbad. Cavegirls having all kinds of heck holding on to the basketball. So Mojica looks to get it in, does right at the 5 count. And the shot up by Hargrove, no good. And it will be, that was Klusner, number 23, who comes down with the board. So Dugan to the front court. Hobbs in a rare empty possession. Dugan backs it to the top of the arc, uses up the dribble. Over to Brown in the right corner, back out. That's Zumbrin. Hargrove gets to her quickly, now back over to Brown. She works against Cunningham, picks up the dribble to Brose. Brose working the right block, spin move, tries to go against Clay, not going to work. And into and losing it is Dugan. Another turnover as pop it forward to Madison Zepeda, who breaks through, takes it from the left side and then pokes it off the right glass. Madison Zepeda with 4 points. Now 39-10, Lady Eagles in control, up by 29 right at the halfway mark of this second quarter. Brown to the front court, loses the basketball. It'll be another turnover for Carlsbad as Cunningham goes to the floor. They'll feed it to Zepeda. Back to Clay, backs it out to the post. Now over into the right slot. 3 for Hargrove, and bang! Bryn Hargrove now with 7 in the ball game. As Hobbs looks determined to have this one running clock in the second half and say, we are the number 1 team in the district and we are the number 1 team in the state. As Mojica will swat that one away from Brose. It goes out between the scorer's table and into the stands. Of course, here at Tasker Arena, they sit on the end lines, not on the sidelines. Zepeda will check out. Coming in her place will be Aliana Armitage. Zumbrin will throw the fastball into Dugan. Dugan trying to get it in and overthrows Medrano, who somehow holds the ball. And then, oh, she traveled. I thought she had made a great save. She did under good pressure, but got kind of tied up trying to save it from going out. And then the feet shuffled, and they'll get you for it every time. Armitage runs the point as Hobbs will bring it into the front court. Toss it over to Clay, right wing, 3-ball up. That one rolls through, no good. Off the tip, it'll be Dugan with another rebound. That's her 4th. Dugan with 4 of the 5 rebounds in the book for Carlsbad here so far in the first half. 32-point Hobbs lead, 42-10 is the score. To Klusner, to Medrano. Working it out between the rings. Now over to Brose. She'll toss it to Klusner in the bright green shoes. I'm digging the shoes. There's some bright green on mine, as a matter of fact. Not that you wanted to know that. Bad pass, ball loose on the floor, and it'll be another turnover as Armitage will strip it away, and then Hargrove comes over to try and save it. Almost makes a circus save to Clay as the Boo Birds in black and gold come out. So the two teams trade turnovers. 3rd turnover for the Lady Eagles, so give it back to the Cave Girls. So Cave Girl basketball as Licon will check in, seeing her first action of the night. Gets it into Dugan, who's been out there the entire time. We click down to 2.5 minutes to go. All Lady Eagles so far in the first half of this one. To Brose, who drives in, and they're going to get Cunningham for the swat. They're going to say a floor foul, though, over Kendall, her first personal. 3rd team foul on the Lady Eagles. Good drive by Dugan. Oh, wow, they called that on Mojica, not on Kendall. So 3rd team foul on the Lady Eagles, no matter how you look at it. First on Mojica. Checking out is Klusner. Coming back in is Jasmine Gonzalez. Gonzalez, Licon, Dugan, Brose, and Medrano on the floor for the Cave Girls. Get it into Licon. Cunningham picks her up quickly. Now they'll come near side to Medrano in front of Taskovich. Over to Brose, far side of the court, to Licon in the deep right corner. To Dugan. Dugan works in, almost gets the ball swatted away from her, and then they're going to call the travel. The blue and white faithful wanted the foul, not going to get it. It'll be turnover number 17 for the Cave Girls. And it'll be Lady Eagle basketball off of another turnover. They have cashed in on them nicely here tonight. So Hobbs basketball into the front court. Work it to Muniz, who just checked in. Muniz, Armitage, Cunningham, Hargrove, and Mojica on the floor for the Lady Eagles. Get it to Cunningham to Mojica. Deep left corner, 3-ball on the way, and bang! Nakaya Mojica with 8 points in the ball game. And now it is a 35-point Hobbs lead. Armitage pressuring Dugan in the backcourt. Dugan goes over and collects it after the poke. Now she'll take it across the timeline right in the center. Pushes it over. Brose will get it. Working far side. Uses up the dribble. Kind of a slow pass, but Gonzalez gets to it. Gonzalez now in trouble. Will toss it over to Brose, right wing. 3 on the way. That one is off the mark, and Armitage will screen out Licon. It goes out and back over to Hobbs. A 35-point Lady Eagle lead. Hobbs looks like a completely different team, and so does Carlsbad from when these two squads met at the Cave a couple of weeks ago. Hobbs has come in and looking much more like their old self as they start tuning up for the district tournament next Saturday, the championship game, and then, of course, the playoffs. To Hargrove, thinks about the three. Medrano picks her up quickly. Hobbs will start it back outside the arc. Bounce it to Carolina Size, then she'll get it to Clay. Takes it through the left lane, and Brett banks it up, but it won't fall, in and out. And Medrano has her first board of the ball game. Under a minute remaining here in the first half. Gonzalez working against Clay. Goes behind the back and runs into Armitage, picks up her dribble, but Dugan is there to save her. Clock continues to move, under 40 seconds remaining. Tulik Cohn then gets a screen from Dugan, but picks up her dribble at the free throw line. To Brose, who will save her between the rings. Hargrove will poke at the ball, gets it away from Medrano. It is loose on the floor, still loose on the floor. Toss it over to Muniz, who gets it and then puts up her shot. No good, and then a battle for it, and Armitage will come away with the basketball, but then is going to get fouled. I think they're going to get Medrano over the back on her. See for sure who they call. And it will be on Medrano. That'll be her first personal. Just the first team foul on Carlsbad in the quarter. And it is on the floor. Medrano, probably 6 inches taller than Armitage. And Aliana blocked her out and got good positioning. So Zepeda will bounce it in and bounces it right into Dugan, who then gets pushed in the back by Muniz. Just a little frustration there, I think, for Caseland. That'll be her first personal. Fourth team foul on Hobbs. And that'll be the Lady Eagles' fourth turnover. So Carlsbad will have it. Hobbs going to put the full court pressure on with 16 seconds to go here in the first half. Dugan to the front court, bounces it, but right into the hands of Zepeda. Madison into the front court. She'll take it all the way. Nope, she'll leave it off for Armitage, who pulls the three-point trigger and bang from the right wing. Not the biggest part of Aliana's game, but it works that time and makes this a 48-10 lead for the Lady Eagles after the first half of play. We'll take a 3-minute timeout, come back with your halftime report. It's the Lady Eagles and the Cavegirls here on Eagle 100.5 and 96.3 KAMQ. Your home for Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball is KEJL, Humble City Hobbs, K263AZ Hobbs, Eagle 100.5, the Eagle 100.5 Hobbs app, Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. Your home for the Carlsbad Cavegirls and Cavemen is KAMQ Carlsbad, 96.3 FM, 1240 AM. 96.3 The Q rocks. Halftime here at Tasker Arena, and the Lady Eagles leading the Cavegirls 48-10. How did we get to this point? Well, let's take a look at the numbers in the first half. We'll start with the visiting Cavegirls. Leading scorer, leading rebounder, Abby Dugan for the Cavegirls. She's got 4 points and 4 boards. She's the leading scorer. Cameron Zumbrin with 3 points in the books is next on the list for the Cavegirls. 2 points, Rebecca Brown, and a point in the books for Jasmine Gonzalez. Carlsbad as a team went 3 of 4, 75% from the free throw line in that first half. Leading rebounder, as we mentioned, Dugan, has only 6 rebounds in the first half for the Cavegirls. 18 turnovers. Ouch. They got 6 points in the first, 4 points in the second. That's how Carlsbad gets to their 10 on the board. Turning the page for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, Brett Clay with a very Brett Clay-like first half as she gets 12 points to go along with a couple of boards in the first half. 8 points and 4 boards for Kendall Cunningham. Nakaya Mojica with 8 points too in the book. 7 points, Aliana Armitage with a couple of rebounds. Bryn Hargrove with 7 points and a rebound to her name too. Madison Zepeda, 4 points and a board. And 2 points in the books for Caselyn Muniz. Hobbs going or rather, I should say, let me get my numbers right here, go 2 of 4 for 50% in the first half. 2 of 4 for 50%. 10 rebounds as a team for Hobbs. They lead the rebounding battle, and they only turned over the ball 4 times in that first half. Hobbs with a very Hobbs offense-like performance. 23 points in the first, 25 in the second, using the turnovers to trigger the offense. So Carlsbad going to have to find a way to take care of the ball better in the second half. It will be running clock to start the second half unless the Cavegirls can get this back under 35 points. Hobbs looks like they are going to cruise to a 25-1 record. But if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, calling a lot of Carlsbad sports, playing Lee County teams, and in every sport, Carlsbad never stops, they never quit, and they never give up. So I have a feeling they're going to come out and they're going to continue to fight. Carlsbad is a team that can go very, very physical, and sometimes that gives Hobbs a little bit of trouble. Of course, the way you break physical is you just keep stealing the ball and getting the fast break open looks. So I think that's what Hobbs going to do, just keep their foot on the pedal. I would expect to see for the first 2 or 3 minutes of the third quarter, and probably the fourth too, Coach Joey Carpenter going to keep his starters out there and just try and keep the rust from going on. Then we'll see a lot of the bench. I have a feeling in this second half we'll see a lot of Addison Everhart, Corelli Rivera, and Areli Navarro, and probably some of Katie Godwin too. Of course, there is quarter limits, all 4 of those girls playing in the JV game earlier, but I would expect to see a lot of time on the court for them as soon as it becomes available to them in the quarter limits for the girls playing in the JV. So Hobbs already back out on the court, warming up for the start of the second half. Of course, after tonight, the Lady Eagles will be right back here next Saturday night for the District 4 5A tournament title game. Right now, that game tentatively set for 5:30 against whoever comes out between Carlsbad, Clovis, and Roswell High. Would not be surprised to see Carlsbad back here again, but it could also be Clovis. Roswell just a little bit down this year. I would expect to see either the Cavegirls or the Lady Wildcats back in here coming up 8 days from now. And then, of course, it's Selection Sunday the day after that. Hobbs hoping for a number 1 seed, but 1 or 2, I'm not really sure it matters. Once you get past the top maybe 5 teams in the state, the only one that Hobbs has not beaten this season that they've seen, and they've seen a lot of them, the only one that's knocked them off is Sandia by 5 to start the season. Carlsbad course, hoping they lose tonight. They will be playing a home game. They should have third in the district, so that would give them a home game, I believe, Tuesday night against Roswell High there at the Cave, in which they need to win to move on to play Clovis and then hopefully win and move back here to play Hobbs. Now, halftime of the boys game on our sister station, Cool 95.7. Also on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, the Hobbs Eagles up by about 10 at Carlsbad, trying to force a district championship playoff game against the Roswell High Coyotes on Monday night. That game, if it happens, would be in Carlsbad at 6 o'clock on Monday. Of course, keep it on Eagle 100.5 and our sister stations, Cool 95.7, Kicks 103, and Z94 will keep you up to date on the latest. So both teams back out onto the court. That'll wrap up halftime. We'll be back in 1 minute. It's the Cavegirls and the Eagles from the Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. Back here at Tasker Arena, start of the second half. The Lady Eagles all over the Cavegirls, 48-10. I'm TJ Miracle, Jonathan Allen running camera tonight. Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing at Eagle 100.5. And, of course, the crew back at 96.3, the Q Rocks in Carlsbad. So it'll be Hobbs basketball as we start this third quarter, and it is the starters out there for the Lady Eagles. Running clock territory up by 38. Clay to Zepeda, who cycles it back around. It'll be the starting five on the floor, too, for Coach Enlow. To Hargrove over in front of the crowd, far side. Hobbs going to be content just to run some clock, practicing the keep away. They've done this, and they've had some problems with it over the season. I don't have a problem with them killing clock as much as they can, but when you get a wide open look, you should probably take it. And Hargrove, she'll put up the underhand scoop. It is no good. And the rebound by Gonzalez, her first of the ball game. So Hobbs comes up empty on their opening possession, but they take 45 seconds off the clock. 38-point Hobbs lead. Gonzalez to Dugan into the front court. Clay giving her a little bit of space. Out between the rings to Garcia near side. AC looking for some room and some help as Zepeda on her. Now to the top of the arc. Brown pulls the three-point trigger. No good. And it'll be Zepeda with the rebound. Back down for the Lady Eagles. Zepeda just takes it herself, and she'll go through. Have to throw it out to Hargrove. Bryn thinks about the three and then throws the fastball inside right to Brown. And then Cunningham will tie her up. But the possession arrow goes to Carlsbad. That'll be the fifth turnover for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Coach Carpenter saying, what are you thinking over there? Coach Enlow taking a knee on the baseline, keeping an eye on what's going on. Backcourt pressure from Zepeda on Dugan. She'll have to go behind the back, but that'll let her get enough space to get it across the timeline at about the 8 count. Does Zumbrin now flip it to Dugan, sling it around to Gonzalez. Gonzalez to Dugan at the right wing as Hargrove picks her up quickly into the right corner with Garcia. Now back to Dugan. Now that's Zumbrin who takes it in the deep left corner. Picks up her dribble, needs some help. Back to Garcia. Still neither team has scored. 2 minutes into this third. Hobbs burning clock and playing defense. Gonzalez to Dugan. Dugan takes it to the right elbow. Now to Gonzalez in the right corner for three. That one is short. And the ball loose on the court. Looked like Clay had it for a minute but loses it as Dugan will have her fifth, and she'll drive in and she'll put it up and in. That is her 6th point of the ball game, and Carlsbad draws first blood here in the third. To Zepeda along the baseline. Cycles around, then she'll turn around from 12 and bank it home. Madison Zapata gets the 2 right back, and it stays a 38-point Hobbs lead. 5:20 remaining here in the third. The Lady Eagles and the Cavegirls slugging it out. Been a little more one-sided than it was in Carlsbad a couple of weeks ago, where Carlsbad led much of that game, most of it as a matter of fact, before Hobbs finally woke up in the fourth quarter. To Garcia, she'll have it top of the arc. Now she'll throw it to Brown. Brown takes it on the right baseline, backs in against Kendall, and they will get Cunningham for over the top. That'll be the first personal on Kendall. First team foul on Hobbs, and that'll put Rebecca Brown at the line to shoot 2. As the hockey line change prepares to come in for Hobbs. Brown's first one is up, and it is good. And it's now 50-13. As Hobbs puts all 5 new players in. Caitlin Muniz, Carolina Size, Aliana Armitage, Addison Everhart, and Katie Godwin in for the Lady Eagles. So Brown at the line, 3 points, made the first, will eye the second. Puts it up and gets the roll on that one. It hit everything, and finally the bottom of the strings. 50-14, new players in for Hobbs as we hit the halfway mark of the third period. To Everhart, back to Armitage. Armitage to Everhart. They're just going to play catch in front of the student section. Now Aliana will take it from the left to the right all the way across the court and give it off to Muniz. Muniz, NBA distance 3. It is off the iron, and Dugan with another rebound, her 6th. Moves through, and Everhart kind of screens out Size, and that gives Dugan room to work, and they'll get it to Garcia in the left corner for 3, and that one's good. Macy Garcia, her first points of the ball game, 50-17, and that gets it out of running clock territory as Armitage will drive in, toss it over to Katie Godwin. Godwin hands it to Muniz as Garcia on her, 3.5 minutes to go here in the third. As going down is Size, and then it'll be Muniz who runs in with the runner, no good, and Brown will have her first rebound of the ball game. To Zumbrin to the front court. Size gets to her quickly. She'll pick up her dribble, needs some help. Size on her very tight. She'll just have to toss it over. Will to Gonzalez. Gonzalez will take it into the high post, put up a shot, no good, and Godwin is there and clips her. That'll be the first personal on Katie. That'll be the second team foul on Hobbs. So 3 minutes to go as now Gonzalez heads to the line where she is 1 of 2. Clock stops at 3:05 as Brown takes a second to lace up the Nikes. So Gonzalez's first is up, and it falls off, no good. So the score remains 50-17. Hobbs with a mixture of the second and fourth team out there right now, and the second one is up for Gonzalez. It is good. So 50-18. As Armitage will bring it up, 2-3 zone look for the Cavegirls. Muniz on the far sideline, works against Garcia. Gonna direct traffic around. The Lady Eagles continue to just burn clock and burn time. Armitage with it. And she'll work and then get a pick from Godwin and then drive in hard, and they'll call the foul in the block on Brown. Her first personal. First team foul on the Cavegirls. And so that should put Armitage at the line for 2, and it will. Aliana with 7 points in the first half. Looking to add to it here. Armitage eyes it, skies it, and that one is off the mark, no good. So Hobbs under 50% on the night from the free throw line. Checking in for Carlsbad, that'll be Brose coming in for Zumbrin. No Armitage at the line, missing the first. As you've got Brown and Gonzalez in the front block for the Cavegirls, right behind them. Everhart and Muniz. Second shot up for Aliana, and it is good. 8 points for Armitage. 33-point Hobbs lead. Backcourt pressure. Everhart on Dugan. Dugan. A little hesitation, now gets it into the front court, bounces it to a wide open Rebecca Brown, who banks it off the glass good. Nice movement and a good job by Brown. Armitage takes it to the deep base, and then he'll have to sling it out, and Dugan tries to save it and knocks it away and out of bounds. It'll stay Hobbs basketball. Armitage pats the chest and said, yeah, that was on me. She kind of lazily threw it over there. Carlsbad, though, to their credit, has cut this back down under a 35-point lead. And Coach Joey Carpenter going to take a 30-second timeout. We'll just keep it right here. Hobbs leading Carlsbad 51-20. Say a big thanks to the great Lady Eagle and Eagle sponsors, including Bel Air Bowl, TDS Telecom, First American Bank of Hobbs, Forest Tire Company, also Badger and NMR Pipeline, and a big thanks to the Caveman and Cave Girl boosters back on KAMQ, including Constructors Inc., Denton Wood Funeral Home, Desert Hills Electric, Devon Energy, Domino's Pizza of Carlsbad, Eddy County Federal Credit Union, Energy Pros, and Easy Rentals, just to name a few. It's because of those folks here in Hobbs and Carlsbad that we can do these games and bring them to you absolutely free of charge. Never have to charge you to watch and listen to your kids and teams play, and never have to beg for donations. And a bad inbound, size can't handle it, and it is out as Coach Carpenter, not a happy camper. So over to Carlsbad on the 6th Hobbs turnover. 2:14 remaining here in the third quarter. Hobbs comfortably in command, but Carlsbad trying to chip back away at it. They've already chipped it down to under running clock to Brose as Muniz gives her a little time. Works it into the right slot and then has to toss it back to Garcia, to Brown, who then throws it to Gonzalez, who somehow saves it, but Everhart will strip it away from her, and then Armitage will take it, and they'll call the tie-up, and Gonzalez tied up Armitage, but the possession arrow for the Lady Eagles, 19th turnover now for Carlsbad. So another hockey line change for Coach Joey Carpenter, as you've got Navarro Rivera, Alana Bolton, Nakayo Mojica, and Madison Zapata now on the floor for Hobbs with 1:40 remaining here in the third. To Navarro, who had a good game in the JV game, as did Corelli Rivera, who controls it now. They throw it into the middle and nobody home except for Rebecca Brown. 7th turnover for Hobbs. Mojica on Dugan, very tight. Dugan almost loses it, finds a little room, now tossing into the deep left corner for Gonzalez. That one is off the side and then partially blocked, shot back up, no good, and it will be Navarro with the rebound. Navarro to Mojica, top of the arc, the running three up, no good, and Garcia with the rebound. 1 minute to go in the third. Hobbs up 51-20. Back to Garcia. She had the open look at the three before Rivera got in her face. Now she gets it back in the left slot. Her three ball is up, no good. Battle for the rebound. Dugan will come up with number 8 and almost stolen away by Zapata, who steps on the baseline, and Carlsbad will maintain possession. So now Jayla Bragg will check in for Carlsbad, seeing her first action. Saw time in the JV game too, I do believe. So Carlsbad basketballs, it'll come into Brose, toss it out to Brown, top of the arc. She'll throw it back into the right corner with Dugan, now to Bragg. Bragg moves it between the rings, then tosses it in, trying to get it in to Brown and swatted away. But Brown touched it last, so it goes back over to Hobbs with 38.5 seconds to go here in the third. So the inbound to Zapata as Carlsbad drops back. Bragg will pick up Zapata just as she crosses the timeline. Madison, bad pass right into the hands of Dugan. Chance for Carlsbad to cut this one under 30, but Mojica will just take it away from her. And then a whistle sounds. Did Mojica step on the baseline? Yep, she did. So the teams trade turnovers. Things have gotten a little sloppy here late in the third. So Dugan will inbound it from right of her own bucket. Gets it into Gonzalez. She'll back it on the right base. Then go between three. Lady Eagles, shot up, no good. Brown is there with her rebound in the putback. 8 points for Brown. And it's a 29-point Hobbs lead. Muniz thinks about the three with 10 seconds to go. Muniz will cycle. Toss it to Mojica in the right elbow. She'll take it. Go to the left block and then up and in for Mojica. She's got 10 in the ball game. And that will end the third quarter. Hobbs leading this one comfortably, 53-22. We'll be back in 1 minute for the fourth quarter. It's the Lady Eagles and the Carlsbad Cavegirls from New Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. And welcome back to Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball, and a score update coming in from the Cave. Hobbs up 52-35 over Carlsbad, looking to claim at least a share of the regular season district title on our sister station, Cool 95.7. But back here at Task Arena, Carlsbad basketball as we start the fourth. Lady Eagles comfortably in control of this one, but Carlsbad going to do everything they can to get back in it as Brown skies a three-pointer, no good, and then the rebound will be made by Gonzalez, and then she gets tied up by Brett Clay. Possession arrow stays with Carlsbad. Oh, no, they're going to say possession arrow to Hobbs, as one of the officials is going to come over and say the arrow was pointing to Carlsbad. Of course, Carlsbad started with the ball, so I think the possession arrow should be to Hobbs. And, yep, they got it worked out, and it will be Hobbs basketball. So after tonight, the Lady Eagles get 8 days off before they right back here at Tasker Arena. 2 more chances to see the Lady Eagles this year. Ooh, almost a travel for Brett there. To Cunningham, back to Clay, now to Carolina Sice. 7.5 to go. I think Hobbs might want to get it back to running clock with the starters in, but we'll see. Or they may just take as much time as they can. Ooh, dangerous pass to Mojica, then to the left corner for 3, and bang, Nakaya Mojica with 13 points in the ballgame, and Hobbs strikes first here in the fourth. For Mojica now 13 points. 34-point Hobbs lead, 1 minute gone in the fourth. Dugan goes hard to the floor, and they're going to call the foul on Bryn Hargrove. This took Dugan's legs out, and she just slipped and fell. We've had a couple of girls slip and fall tonight. So they're going to get Hargrove, her second personal. First team foul on Hobbs. I think that was just a case of too many bodies in too small a spot there. Well, the inbound will come to Dugan in the backcourt, and that's where Clay will pick her up. Give her a little space, let her cross the timeline over on the far side of the court. That's the left side from my perspective. As Dugan takes it to the left elbow, then turns around, 15-footer. That one is off the mark, and it'll be Mojica with the rebound for Nakaya, her first. She'll push it to Hargrove, left corner, 3 on the way, and that one is off the mark. And the rebound by Garcia. That'll be her second board of the ball game. And she'll just hand it off to Dugan as Hobbs will drop back in D. Mojica picks up Dugan just as she crosses the stripe and starts working the Cave Girls offensive zone. 56-22, Hobbs in the lead to Brown with Cunningham on her. Brown uses up the dribble and will have to toss it over to Dugan, top of the arc. Mojica giving her a little room. She'll take it to the right side, then spin at the free throw line, then bounce it over to Brown, who puts up a shot, no good. Blocked by Hargrove or Cunningham, not sure which. It'll stay Carlsbad basketball as Brose will check in. So Brose going in as Abby Dugan going to take the first seat of the night. She has played an awful lot of time out there for the Cave Girls. So get it to Brose. In front of the home section, now into the corner for Gonzalez, Gonzalez, then top of the arc for 3, Zumbrin, and she'll bank it home. Zumbrin gets it back down to 31. Zumbrin's second tray of the ball game. She's got 6. So hand it off to Brett Clay. Brett works against Zumbrin, tossing over to Mojica, then get it to the left base, and then right back to Clay, who splits 2 Cave Girls and goes up and in. Clay with 14 leads the Lady Eagles. 58-25. 5:29 remaining. To Zumbrin. Mojica giving her a little bit of space. Then throw the fastball in to Gonzalez. And then Carolina Sice says, nope, I think I'll take that. Thank you very much. Scotto will take it back into the front court. Sice gets the pick from Cunningham and will hand it off to Clay. Clay to Cunningham at the free throw line, working against Brown. She'll take it in and then get fouled, going hard to the rack. I think they're going to get Brown for that one. Zumbrin in the neighborhood, too. We'll see for sure who they put that up on, as they will call that one on Rebecca Brown. Her second personal. First team foul in the quarter. And so Kendall Cunningham at the line. Kendall puts up the first, and it is in and out. So hockey line change preparing for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. As Bolton will wait on the sidelines until after the free throw, if it's good for Cunningham. Now Armitage, Rivera, Zepeda and Muniz back on the floor for Hobbs. Kendall at the line, missing the first, but with an opportunity to make the second. Cunningham bends it, puts it up, and puts it down. 9 points for Cunningham in the ball game. 59-25, as the Lady Eagles have gone with the hockey line change. So now you've got Rivera, Zepeda, Armitage, Bolton, and Muniz on the floor. Dugan, Brose, Zumbrin, Madrano, and Klusner on the floor for the Cavegirls, as that one out of the reach of Brose. Under good pressure from Muniz, and it'll be a turnover. Give it back to Hobbs. Hobbs up by 34 in this one. In cruise control at this point. To Rivera, back out to Zepeda, to Armitage. Hobbs will just work it around. They will take the shot if they get the wide open look. But they're just going to work on taking some time off the clock. To Bolton, back to Muniz. Caseton will sling it over to Zepeda. Zepeda takes it through the top of the arc. From the right to the left. Now give it to Armitage. She'll split through, loses the basketball, needs some help, and finally she'll just have to put up a wing and a prayer shot, and they'll get Klusner for the foul. Armitage doing everything she could. Klusner just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. Aliana kind of like a bull in a china shop there. They'll call that on Klusner. Her first personal, second team foul. So Armitage at the line and misses the first. It will go running clock again if Armitage can get this one to fall. It'll be back up by 35. Armitage with 8 and still with 8. And the rebound going to be brought down by Madrano. That'll be her second. And then ball goes out of bounds. Stays Carlsbad basketball. So Carlsbad, I believe, will be playing in the district tournament Tuesday night against Roswell High. That game should be back at the Cave. But our friends at Carlsbad Radio, KAMQ, will have that for you. I would be willing to bet. It's Kendra Ortega into the ballgame, seeing her first action for the Cavegirls. Dugan working and fighting against Rivera, and Rivera ties her up. Possession arrow stays with the Cavegirls. So both Coach Carpenter and Coach Enlow going a little bit deeper into the benches here late in the ballgame, with this one not really in question anymore. Ortega between the rings to Brose. Then back to Ortega, who can't hold on to it, and a lucky fan gets a souvenir. No, you have to give him back. And it's only in hockey and baseball. So another turnover for the Cavegirls. Number 23, just too much trouble holding on to the basketball tonight to seriously channel and challenge the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Zepeda to the front court. Rivera back to Zepeda. Long cross-court pass to Muniz. Now to Bolton. Alana going to take it on the right base, then toss it back out to Muniz. Right corner, 3 on the way, and bang! Caselyn Muniz with 5 in the ballgame, and that will get it back to running clock with 3:18 remaining in the ballgame. 62-25. As Everhart and Godwin wait to check in for the Lady Eagles. Dugan still out there battling. She goes around and through Armitage and puts up the shot and count the bucket and the foul. Dugan with 8 points, and she'll get to go to the line for the and one. Now they're going to call Armitage on the block. That'll be her second personal, second team foul on Hobbs. Still a 35-point Hobbs lead, so Dugan going to try and get this one to go down to get it back out of running clock. Dugan, 2 of 2 from the line, has 8 points on the night. And a very, very good free throw shooter. And puts it up and nothing but the bottom of the net. And that will get it back under running clock time. Checking in for Carlsbad, number 4, Jayla Bragg. So Bragg back in for the Cavegirls. Godwin, Muniz, Everhart, Armitage, Zepeda on the floor for Hobbs. Bragg, Ortega, Klusner, Madrano, and Gonzalez on the floor for the Cavegirls. Back to Armitage between the rings to Zepeda. Thinks about the 3 from the right wing, thinks better of it. Get it to Godwin. Katie tossing out to Armitage. Hobbs again just going to play keep away. Under 2 minutes remaining, a 34-point lead. 159, Armitage backs down and then tosses to Godwin. Takes it to the free throw line and then back out to Muniz. Muniz, a little jab step, drives in, tries to split the defenders and will get fouled. I think they're going to get Ortega for that one. We'll see for sure momentarily. It might get Klusner. She was in the neighborhood too. Yep, they'll get Klusner. Her second personal. Third team foul on the Cave Girls. So Muniz at the line. Her first trip to the stripe, and she clanks that one. Hobbs' free throw shooting has not been good tonight. Hobbs in the fourth quarter right now is 1 of 5 from the stripe. There's more subs coming in now for Coach Enlow. Catch those for you momentarily. Muniz's second is up, and that one is no good. And the rebound will be made by Armitage, her third. Aliana to Everhart for 3. That one no good. Then off the tip, coming up with it'll be Medrano. That'll be her third rebound. Toss it forward to Ortega, who can't hold on to it, and out of her reach. She fought for it but couldn't get it. So that'll be another turnover for Carlsbad. 90 seconds to go. Hobbs will improve to 25-1 on the season, 6-0, a perfect district mark. The Cave Girls will drop to 17-9 on the year, and will be 2-4 in district. Armitage to Muniz, right wing, 3 on the way. That one is off the mark. Rebound going to be brought down by Zepeda, her third. Madison will turn around from the right block, 10-footer up, no good. Battling underneath for the rebound, Godwin and Ortega. Godwin touches it last and give the ball back to Carlsbad with 1:05 remaining in the contest. So Medrano to Bragg, who will run the point, brings it up in front of Taskovich on the near side. Runs into Everhart. He'll take it to the 10-foot line and then sling it around to Ortega. Ortega over to number 10. I don't have a number 10 on the roster. Go back to Ortega, then bouncing it near side to Bragg. Bragg looking for some room. She'll take it through the lane, put up a push shot. That one's no good. Winds up with her own rebound, pushes it out. 3 ball on the way. That one up no good, and it'll be Godwin who comes away with the rebound. Katie's first with 26 seconds to go to Everhart, who leans in and puts up the shot. No good, but she's fouled. They're going to get Ortega for her first personal. Fourth team foul on Carlsbad. And so if Everhart can get this first one to go, that last 24 seconds will move very quickly. We're still 2 home games for the Lady Eagles. District championship game next weekend, next Saturday, right now tentatively at 5:30. In the first round of the playoffs on Friday the 7th. As Everhart will get that one and goes into the books, puts Hobbs back up by 35. So it will be a very quick 30 seconds. Or 20 seconds, under 20 now. Clock continues to move with 14 to go. Everhart puts up the second and gets them both. And that'll just about do it. So Carlsbad will inbound it to Bragg with 5 seconds to go. Bragg takes it to the front court and at the buzzer puts up a wing and a prayer, no good. And the Hobbs Lady Eagles are victorious tonight over the Carlsbad Cave Girls. Our final, Hobbs 64, Carlsbad 28. We'll be back in 3 minutes to wrap things up. It's the Hobbs Lady Eagles and the Carlsbad Cave Girls on Eagle 100.5, Q96.3, Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. Back in 3 minutes. Back here at Tasker Arena, our final score, the Hobbs Lady Eagles taking out the Carlsbad Cavegirls 64-28. I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber, and One Radio Square engineering and producing, Jonathan Allen running camera, and of course the gang back at 96.3 The Q Rocks in Carlsbad. So final numbers in this one for the Cavegirls. Their leading scorer tonight was Abby Dugan. Abby also their leading rebounder. She had 8 boards in the ball game. 8 points for Rebecca Brown, 6 points for Cameron Zumbrin, 3 points Macy Garcia, and a bucket for Jasmine Gonzalez. Carlsbad tonight goes 7 of 9 from the free throw line. They did win the rebounding battle, had 19 overall in the ball game, but turning the ball over 24 times, getting 6 points in the first, 4 in the second, 12 in the third, and 6 in the fourth. That's how the Cavegirls get their 28 on the board, and they will fall to 17-9 on the year, 2-4 in district. But I would be willing to bet you they're hosting, well, there's no betting. I know they're hosting at the Cave on Tuesday night in the first round of the district tournament. For your Hobbs Lady Eagles tonight, there is a lot of black ink in the book. Leading scorer tonight, Brett Clay with 14 points. Right behind her was Nakaya Mojica with 13. Kendall Cunningham tonight with 9 points. She was also the leading Lady Eagle rebounder with 4. Then you had 8 points in the books for Aliana Armitage, 6 points for Madison Zapata, 5 for Caselyn Muniz, and then a bucket for Addison Everhart. Actually, both her points coming from the free throw line. Hobbs struggling a little bit from the stripe, going 6 of 14, so under 50% tonight. On the rebounding, they lost that battle. They only had 16 as a team, but of course things get a little skewed when you're playing with a lot of the bench in the second half. Then the Lady Eagles, 9 turnovers in the ball game. So next up for them, district championship game on Saturday night, although I just heard an announcement that it could very well wind up being Friday night, as long as if it's not a doubleheader with Hobbs. Now, with the Hobbs boys, speaking of the Hobbs boys in Carlsbad, final score in that one, it just went final over at the Cave. Hobbs boys defeating Carlsbad 65-47, the final in that one. So the Hobbs Eagles, assuming Clovis does not pull the upset against Roswell High, will have a play-in game against Roswell on Monday in Carlsbad. So with that, my friends, we will put a wrap on this one as the Hobbs Lady Eagles stay perfect in district, improving to 25-1 overall on the year and keeping their hope for 30-win season alive, and 6-0 in district. Like to say a big thank you to all of the folks back in Carlsbad and the crew at Carlsbad Radio asking me to fill in tonight. So appreciate them very much. And, of course, for Dawn Morgan on assignment tonight, for Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing, for Jonathan Allen running camera, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long from Tasker Arena. Tonight's game has been an exclusive presentation of Noalmark Digital and Eagle 100.5 Sports. Good night, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.